Deb.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
How's it going? It's March.
Was that the worst? Is that the worst intro to a podcast ever? Hello, Deb. Happy
Yeah.
Tuesday. That was terrible. Start over.
Start over.
Deb, how's it going?
Just enthusiasm all the way.
Jeez,
It's March.
that was I feel like we both dropped the ball on that one. It's like, it's Tuesday.
Fine.
It's raining outside. Excited to be here. Like, boo. Everybody shuts the podcast off.
I know. I bet when you drop this, it's still going to be raining because it's like raining for like 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, I hate the rain. I don't care what anybody says. I know this is not popular because I feel like I'm in the minority. Every time I say this, I just feel like I'm in the minority because I know people love winter. They love the rain. The rain sucks. Like it just sucks because it makes things messy. It makes things, it causes issues on the road. People drive crazy because they lose their minds. There's just so many things that are problematic. Can I say one thing before I forget? A little while ago, you and I did one of our pet peeves episodes, which we're kind of due to do another one of those here soon, I think, because it's been a long time. But one of your pet peeves was how people kind of swing out before they do a U-turn.
Yeah.
I saw it today.
I hate it.
Yeah, it wasn't the most egregious one, but they definitely leaned to the right. I'm
like, I just still don't. Someone needs to explain it. Someone who does it on purpose needs to explain it to me. And maybe it's like a different car, or I don't know. But I just need to know why, because you're already in the lane. Do you not have enough room? Like, I just don't understand why swerving in. I don't get it. And it always like makes me so nervous if I'm right next to the person, because I'm a defensive driver and I just don't trust anyone. So I'm usually, don't get me wrong, like sometimes I'm not paying attention, but like usually I'm looking around. So if I could see that car get super close to me and I like want to honk my horn, and then they just make their U-turn, but it's like, why? I still to this day don't understand why people turn right first into the other lane before they make I don't get it. I just don't. It drives me nuts. So I need someone to explain it to me.
Well, and like I told you, I could be wrong. And yeah, to Deb's point, I don't want to slide past that. If you are a horrible driver and you do this when you make a U-turn, let us know. Just say, yes, I am one of those bad drivers that Deb hates, and then reach out to us so we can talk to you on the podcast, because that'd be helpful for us to solve some of these problems. But I really do. I told you this before. I really do think that there's this weird psychological thing that makes people almost more afraid of hitting the median when they turn than the other car. I really believe that, which is a wild thought. But like, I think of this as like, oh, there's the cement median. Can't hit that. Crunch. Hit the metal car next to me. I really do.
Swerve into the other lane so I don't hit the median. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't get it, but oh well.
And can I just tell you something too? Just so you know, if there's ever a scenario where I'm in front of you and I need to make a U-turn, which because of where we record sometimes in person, there is a possibility this could happen. I'm definitely going to swing out just right in front of you.
Just to do it.
Yeah, just to do it. I don't do it, but I'm going to do it if you're behind me. Yeah.
Okay.
And hopefully no one's in the right lane. I'm going to really make it bad.
You know what? And like, it's mostly when I'm right next to them and I can see that they're starting to do it. Sure. And they're about to hit me. If I'm if I'm just seeing it from afar, it's annoying because I'm like, oh, if I was right next to them and they hit me, I'd be so pissed. It's more annoying from afar, but when I get like irritate, like mad if they're next to me and I can see them coming towards me, because I'm like, I know what you're doing. You're turning right before you make your U-turn. Why?
I don't know. We'll find someone that does it. Anyway, and we'll ask. Next time it happens next to you, follow that person and say, hey, I'm really mad at you, but would you be on a podcast for like 5 minutes?
I need you to explain why you just did that.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we're due for another pet peeve.
Yeah. I know the tough thing, I need to write all my pet peeves down because I don't want to ever like repeat pet peeves, but we've done it 2.5 times. So now there's definitely some pet peeves that have stacked up. So yeah, I need to go back and kind of list them out. That way I don't repeat. But anyways, that's not today's podcast. Deb, what are we talking about today?
We're going to just do some fun this or that back and forth. I thought about it earlier and I'm like, is it like a would you rather? And I'm like, no, it's a this or that. But I guess it could be a would you rather.
I don't think so.
I stuck with this or that.
So funny you say that, because I looked up I was trying to get some inspiration. So I looked up some, and someone even said that, like, is this the same as would you rather? It's like, no, this is different, because would you rather typically is more scenario based, right?
Yeah.
Versus this or that. Like, it's like, do you prefer this or do you prefer that? Where it's like, hey, would you rather have a bucket stuck on your hand for a whole year or a bucket stuck on your foot for the whole year? That's
Mhm.
more would you rather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a difference. So
There's okay. One of mine is going to be questionable. Then I think it's more of a this or that, but it might be borderline. Would you
that's
rather?
that's okay.
So anyway,
So yeah, this will be just a fun episode.
yeah,
So if you hated our last episode about creating the life that you want because you thought it was too serious, then you'll love this one.
here we
So
go.
just, yeah, don't judge us on the last one. Just judge us on this one. And if you like the more serious stuff, go check out our last episode and ignore this one.
Yeah,
So we have something for everybody.
yeah, exactly. It's a nice little fun rainy day episode, I
Yep.
think.
This is
Mhm.
the only part that's fun about this rainy day. So I just want to make that clear, because rainy days suck. Go ahead, Deb.
I opened up my weather app and it just said freeze warning, which is not cool in Sacramento.
Hmm.
There should not be a freeze warning in Sacramento.
I know. It's always, yeah, I always hate going out to the car and my car is
I
iced over. It's just a
yeah,
big ice cube. No good.
I still have my thermals on from work today, like underneath all my clothes right now with my heater on.
Oh, you wear thermals at work?
Well, I'm outside.
Interesting.
Well, I'm outside. I go outside. I go to different facilities. I walk around outside a lot. I'm about to be uncomfortable or cold.
No, it makes sense. I don't think I would have I don't think I would have seen you as like a thermal person. I thought it would have been like sweatshirt and then like jackets on top of that.
Well, it's every thermal,
All of it.
long sleeve. I have
Okay.
3 layers on right now, just sitting in my own house. Jacket, and I've had a jacket on this today. I have thermals under these leggings that I have on.
There you
Like
go.
build up. The older I get, I'm like, I'm not playing with this weather. I'm gonna be warm. And if anything, I can peel layers off, right? But I'm not about to be freezing at work. And so
Sure.
I have all kinds of layers on during the winter
There you
season.
go.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
Do we just get right into it?
Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go first.
Yes,
Yep.
please. Ladies first.
Okay. So this is, I don't know, let's give an easy one, I guess. To start off with.
Oh, hold on. And just so everybody knows too, we each have a set of these questions, roughly 5, and we have not shared these with each other. So
one of
just so
them,
everybody knows.
well, I gave you an example earlier when we were texting that I'm probably going to use. So you probably have already seen one of them, but we'll start
Already
off with
forgot.
the easy one. You already forgot. Cardio training or strength training is my first one.
Ooh. So, oops.
Supposed to be an easy one.
I'm just so angry. Like, oh, hit the mic. I hate this question. No, I would probably say strength training.
Mhm.
I do enjoy strength training more, but the nice thing about, like, here's, especially in sometimes with my current situation and schedule, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to get to like the gym. Now, just recently we bought a bench and some of those Bowflex, like the adjustable Bowflex dumbbells.
Mhm.
So I've been able to actually lift a lot more frequently because it's just in the garage, which has been really nice. But if in a perfect world, I would do a lot more lifting, going to the gym, a lot more lifting. It's just sometimes it's a little bit more challenging. The nice thing about, like, for me, like the cardio would be running, like running a certain distance. It's nice because that is, you have a little bit more freedom in that. Like, you don't need the equipment. You can kind of do it anywhere. Sometimes I'll just throw my shoes and my workout stuff in my car. So that way, if I just happen to be somewhere and I have an opportunity to run, like I'll run, while I'm at this certain place. So that's the one nice thing about that. But like in a perfect world, the thing that I would like to do is strength training, just because, you would know better. And I feel like we've talked about this, the benefits of that. I feel like a lot of times outweigh,
Yeah.
the benefits of the running, even though I don't feel creative when I like lift weights. Like, there's no creativity that comes from that for me. But that's where the running, we've talked about multiple times, I feel like a little bit more creativity clears the mind a little bit. But I do feel like I feel almost more accomplished. Like if you do like an hour lifting session versus like an hour run. Now, if you start getting up to like the big miles, then you feel pretty accomplished. But like I feel like just something physically, I feel more accomplished if I'm lifting weights. But
Yeah.
that's mine. What's yours?
This was a hard one even for me, just because I have a background in both. I incorporate both into my workouts. I would never just do just one. I just can't. Um, but I want to say, especially lately, and maybe it's because the older I get, I do, in terms of like which one do you enjoy more, I guess, or if you had to pick one, I have to run. Like I need or do some quick move, like some type of like to get my heart rate up. Not that lifting doesn't get my heart rate up, it certainly does. But there's benefits to both, obviously, but I love cardio. I love running. It's the only high I need sometimes, and it's the only thing that'll clear my head from a bad day. I could go do some strength training, but sometimes it's not the same mentally for me in terms of like just clearing all the clutter as cardio is for me. And sometimes that's more important for me. So,
We're kind of in the same boat there then.
yeah. So right now I would have to pick cardio. Again, strength training is super important. And I think maybe like 5 years ago, I would have said strength just because that was the state I was in then. But now I'm just like, I have to go running. Like at this point right now, I haven't ran since it's Tuesday, since last Thursday, just because life has been busy and I'm just like itching. And it was raining today and I like running outside and I just didn't get to it today. Like I'm just like itching to go running right now, like antsy for it. So
Yeah.
right now I'd have to pick cardio out of
Okay.
the two.
Perfect. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Good start. All
Easy
right,
one.
I'll go with an easy one as well. Uh oh, actually, I have two that are in the same boat.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of squish these together. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Okay, do you prefer TV shows or movies?
Um, I TV shows because right now, I mean, again, yeah, I need
What's on your TV right now? What's paused?
Sex in the City.
I knew there was something. The way
That's why
Deb looked,
I
you looked off screen. That means there's either a
looked at
person in
my
your house
TV.
or there's a TV show on right now that you've paused. TV show it was.
TV show.
Sex and the
I
City is a new one. Usually it's One Tree Hill.
I know, right? I can only watch so much One Tree Hill. Sex in the City is a good like white noise for me. I've seen all of them, but it's still a good entertainment. Like I'll look and I'll be like, oh, I don't remember that part or whatever. It's just good background noise and it's entertaining for me. But I like TV shows, especially being by myself. Sometimes I can't stick with movies. Every once in a while I'll watch a movie by myself, but even then it's hard for me to get through the whole thing. I need short I need shorter segments. Um I like the longevity of a TV show. A movie is like one and done unless there's a 2 or 3 parter type thing, you know?
Sure.
So I think I'd have to go with TV shows. I'd rather go through little segments and then like several series, seasons. Um yeah. So I don't know. I guess that's a short-winded explanation for that. I'm more of a movie watcher with like people or like groups of people. But then again, I'm not a very good like participant because I don't shut up and I'm always asking questions.
Oh, it's
And
been
so
well established on this podcast. I
you
think
establish that
I
I
don't
will
know how
ask
any.
questions. Well, on some TV shows too. So like I gotta pick a TV show that I'm watching by myself so I don't annoy anybody. And I'm the only one. So I like watching TV shows like before bed. If I found a show I like, I want to watch an episode maybe while I'm winding down before I go to sleep. But I like that they're short. Like I can't just sit and watch a whole ass movie
Sure.
before bed. Like it's too long, too much, like too much focus, concentration. Yeah, I'd have to say I'm way more into TV shows right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like you're not alone in that either. I feel like a lot of people are probably in that boat.
Yeah.
For me, it's kind of tough because I'm not a huge TV watcher. I'm someone that doesn't necessarily need the white noise on. Like sometimes I will just turn, unless it's sports, I'll just turn it off. And just like I'll play some music or something. So sometimes I actually don't enjoy the white noise that it provides. Um, but I do, and sometimes I have a tough time committing to TV shows. You ask people that know me, they're like, it's tough to get me to watch a new TV show. My poor sister's been trying to get me to watch a couple different shows, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. I'm very sorry. And even my wife, she watches quite a few TV shows, and we don't really watch a ton together. Um, so luckily, it's not a situation where like we're battling for the TV or battling for it. It's like she can kind of have it because I don't really watch that many TV shows. But when I do, I really enjoy them. But I think for me, part of the challenge with the TV shows is it feels like a longer commitment,
Yeah.
and so because I don't use it as white noise necessarily, and sometimes stuff comes up, and then I feel like if you get behind in a TV show, then it's like, oh, I have so much. It's like it feels like work. I'm like, I have so much work to do. I have to catch up with like 2 or 3 episodes. Oh, this sucks. And it takes the enjoyment out of it. So I probably would lean more towards movies.
Mm.
But that being said, if I find a TV show I really love, which I have a few, I really do. I really do, fall in love with it. But I would say I'm probably a little bit more of a movie person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Is
Yeah.
there a certain movie or one that you just watched or something that you enjoy?
A certain movie.
Like, or a movie that you recently watched, like a rec?
Yeah. So my wife and we haven't finished it yet, but we are watching Creed, the first Creed.
Oh, okay.
We're trying to catch up on the first two Creeds because the third Creed, well, by the time this airs, the third Creed would have just come out. So I'm a big fan of the Creed movies. I don't box, but I do love those movies. So we're actually watching that right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm I'm on season 4. I think season 4 of You on Netflix.
Okay. I never did it.
It's interesting. This version of it is different than the first 3. And so far it's pretty intriguing. It's been a few days since I watched it. I'm trying to not binge it because they're only releasing the first half. I don't know when they're releasing the second half, so I don't want to watch it too fast to get it
Sure.
right. And I don't know when the next half is going to come out. I'm going to be so annoyed. But that's what I'm watching right now when I can. When I can.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a popular one for sure. I know a lot of people that watch it. Like I said, I really have to. I'll say this: if I'm watching a show, I really love that show or I'm really intrigued by that show. If like it's a new show, then I'm really intrigued by it. And watch Ted Lasso. Have you seen? You don't have the Apple TV?
No, I've heard so many good things though. I have not gone into it yet, or haven't. I don't have that Apple TV.
That one, as you know, as we've talked about before, if I do put on a show for white noise, it's almost 100% going to be The Office.
Yeah.
But Ted Lasso is it's starting to get in that territory for me where it's just it just makes you feel good. Like I feel like that's always the review of that show is it just makes you feel good. And so that's probably in that same boat for me. Yeah, that's coming back too, March 15th. So very excited for that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Good one.
There we go. There's our recommendations for TV shows and movies.
There's our Rex right there.
Yep. All right. What else you got, Deb?
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
I'm a night. Okay, so I'll say this: I'm a night owl, but
Okay.
I'm not a grumpy morning person. Like the mornings don't bother me, which is sometimes a problem because sometimes I think I can trick my body into making bad decisions because like I can stay up late, and then even though if I know I have to wake up early and I can still function, where I get in trouble is if I sit down for too long and then I start going like, oh no. But like if I'm active, the tiredness doesn't really kick in, which I said is I don't necessarily say that with like a pride because it's probably not the best thing. It's probably not a great habit, especially as a 34-year-old adult. Probably not the best thing to do, but like naturally I'm a night owl and I do enjoy staying up late, but I also enjoy getting up early. Yeah. But sometimes my body can stay up later more easily than it can wake up early.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like if I can get up, but like my hand hits that snooze button so many times, it's like, it'll be fine. Click. And my body's like, you're an idiot. Don't do this to yourself. But I have a tougher time waking up. But when I'm up, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm similar. I'm definitely like I could probably stay up later than I could get up early. I definitely struggle getting up. I'll get up. I don't really hit snooze. I know I need to I know there's a time I need to get up because I know how long it takes for me to get ready for work. Like I know I don't try to push it, but I'll have to lay there. Sometimes I'll lay there for 5 minutes and just kind of wake myself up by getting on my phone. I can't go back. If I shut my eyes again, I'm done for. So
The same thing.
I just slowly like talk myself into it's a slow moving, slow rolling ball for me getting up. I can't talk to anyone in the morning. Like I just don't have the mental capacity, nothing. Sometimes my friends want to call me in the morning when it's too early and I just woke up, and I'll answer and they're like, and they know me, they're like, oh, you just woke up. Okay, call me back later. Like on the weekends or something, I'm like just rolling out of bed. So I'm more talkative. But once I get going, like once I've gotten to work and I've had my 2 cups of coffee, like I don't shut up, like I'm a ball of energy. And then in the evenings, I'm pretty talkative after like a workout. Like if I just got done working out or just got done playing soccer, like I can stay up for a few hours and be, social and energetic. But the same thing at night, like when I'm getting ready for bed or in bed, like do not talk to me. I'm all done. I'm depleted. I need to go rest so I could do it all. So I could be social again tomorrow. Since I socialize for a living with teenagers anyway. So
Right.
uh, I guess I would pick night owl, but I do enjoy, like in the simple pleasures episode, I love getting up early enough to like not have any plans and kind of just enjoy just being alone. Um, I don't want to sleep the day away ever. Like that's
Hmm.
a thing that I want to
Sure.
do. I think the latest I'll sleep in on the weekends if I have nothing going on is like 8:30, maybe 9 if I'm
Yeah.
really like don't want to get up. But yeah, maybe I think I would pick night owl. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, and I think for me as well, and my wife and any probably any parent out there too, like the days of like sleeping in kind of go away for a very
Like
long time.
yeah.
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 And so like it's if if I hear people with kids say they slept until like 10, like, huh? What kind of world are you living in? Like that doesn't even exist in our world, which as weird as it sounds, like that's never bothered me. Like I've always, it's actually been in a weird way. It's like, okay, perfect. It's a reason for me to like wake up early, which I like doing.
Yeah.
Even if I stay up late, I still enjoy waking up early. So with having the kids, like, oh, they're like little alarm clocks that say,
Yeah.
hey, it's time to wake up. Like, all right, time to go. So yeah, but like, yeah, I'm with you. I just prefer night. But
Yeah.
that being said, I do like when I would go to the gym in the morning, like early in the morning before work, like I used to do it at 4:30 in the morning. There's just something about that. Like you just feel good walking out of the gym. Like going to the gym, you're like, this is the day. I'm gonna drop weight on my throat. I'm gonna be benching very little amount of weight. Don't get me wrong, it's not heavy, but I'm still gonna drop it on my face because I'm so tired. And then you walk out of the gym feeling like, oh, I still have an entire day left. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's like that like a thing that makes you feel really good. Now let me piggyback off that one because I have one that's similar but a little bit different.
Okay.
Would you rather, or would you? No, we're not doing would you rather. This or that.
See, there's that.
It's kind of would you rather though. Start work late or leave work early.
I'd rather you mean like go to work early and get out earlier in the day versus start work later and get out later in the day?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how you would kind of shift it.
I would rather start early and get out early.
100%. I feel like there's only one. Now I know people that would rather start their day later. I'm like, oh, that's dumb, but okay,
That's
that's fine.
dumb.
But no, like 100%. You can start the day early if you start the day before anybody else is even up, and
I
you
would
end
love.
there's no to me there's no benefit in or very little benefit other than being able to sleep in.
Yeah.
That's
It
the only benefit because most likely, if assuming that you're not like starting work crazy late, you're probably going to run into a little bit more traffic,
yeah.
right? If you start early, you're not going to hit the traffic, and because you're getting out earlier, you're definitely not going to hit the afternoon traffic either.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you should say that. So last year and years prior to that, my school would start at 7:45
Hmm.
and would get out at 3:07. Well, California state law this year said that secondary schools can't start any earlier than 8:30. So we start at 8:30 now. I get out at 3:37, which is not as egregious as like, okay, that's 30 minutes later. And we're actually starting 45 minutes later. So like our school site kind of messed around with the bell schedule. So our minutes would stay the same. Like we kind of cut our lunch a little shorter type thing. But it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference getting out from 3:07, 3:37, just because of like
Mm-hmm.
now when I have after school meetings, like I didn't leave work today until like almost 5 because I had a staff meeting, and like that's would not have happened. Like it's just I
Right.
feel like I'm at work way later, and I
Mm-hmm.
would much rather, even if I were in a different career or vocation and I start work at like 6 in the morning so that I could get out at like 1 or 2. Hell yeah. Like I would
Way
much
better.
rather do that. Yeah. That way I have the rest of the day to do whatever. I would much rather start early and get out early.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I also feel like that was probably the first time something as official as California state law has been said on this podcast. You just dropped a California state law on Connectable.
All right, getting political over here.
That might be a first of the podcast. Good for you.
So you know how I feel about that
Sure.
law. Stupid. Oh my God. All
Yeah.
these kids are doing are they're staying out up later now so that they could still be late to school at 8:30 instead of 7:45.
That's how it goes. Yep.
Yeah.
That's how
Yep.
it goes.
That's how it goes.
All right. So
Um, yeah, that was a good one.
yeah, like I said,
Um,
it was fitting because it kind of piggybacks off of yours.
yeah,
So what else you got?
yeah. Okay. Um, okay. Summer lake or winter cabin?
Uh
Summer,
yeah, no, it's fine.
winter
I know I
cabin.
heard the question. Winter can kick rocks. Kick rocks. Summer Lake. Because now that
Okay,
being
you're
said,
just
it
staring
is
at me
fun.
like,
What's that?
yeah. You're just looking at me. You're like, that was a dumb question. This is an easy answer. Yeah, I'm
Not
saying.
not a dumb question. It was a good question, but for me, it's definitely an easy answer. Now, I do find it fun to do the like the snowy cabin every once in a while. But if you're asking me, like, if I had to choose one, see a snow, going to the lake for sure. It's summer. Again, I've said this for 2 years of doing this podcast. I love summer. I don't care what argument you throw my way. It's like, oh, but there's only so many layers you can take off. Don't care. I do not care. I feel like people think I'm being unreasonable or just being a contrarian. I'm not. I do not care. Like it's like, oh, you can put more jackets on. Yeah, but then you walk around like the Michelin man. Like just
It's uncomfortable.
it is uncomfortable. And here's my problem. I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but I get warm pretty easily. So it's like it might be cold initially, but then I put a jacket on. It's like, dang, now I'm hot. And then you're in an uncomfortable position because if you take the jacket off, you're cold again and you're kind of sweaty. So now you're really cold because you've had this huge jacket on trying to keep you warm. I don't like it. I do not like it. So Summer Lake, that's my
Uh,
answer. Final answer.
Final answer. I agree. Summer Lake. Yeah, I think in theory, the winter cabin sounds nice. It sounds cozy.
Sure.
It's like, I don't know. I guess if we're talking about seasons, like the Christmas season, like, yeah, that sounds great. Like winter cabin, snow outside, like hot cocoa, whatever. Like that sounds nice. But I would much rather do Summer Lake for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Heat. I'm over this rain and this cold. I know it's good for us. I know we need it. Some
Yeah,
rainy
I
days.
don't want to hear that either. It's like, oh, it's good for us. Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. I don't mean it doesn't mean I have to like it. You know what else is
I
good? Broccoli is great for you. Don't like it. Still eat it. Don't like it.
I
Hate that
need
winter people.
I need the sun. I need summer back. I posted something recently. I was just like, oh, I just want to be back on the beach, or I just want to just be at my pool. I don't know. I just need the weather to get warmer. The sun
Yep.
is good for you too. The sun like has psychological benefits, physical benefits, neurological benefits, just being out in the sun. Like people don't realize, like it's just I'm not saying lay out there and get heat exhaustion or fry your skin, but like just to have the sun out in general is good for you.
I agree. In the wintertime, when it's rainy and stormy, like here's the thing. It's kind of fun, like if it's kind of gloomy outside and it's cold. If you're inside, right, and you can do your movie thing, kind of just stay inside, stay warm, cozy, all that stuff's fine. But a lot of times during the week, you're going to work, you're driving around, no one's happy. You look around, it's not like they're overjoyed to be outside. No, everybody's angry. People are honking the horn because someone is swerving way out to the right, almost hitting them as they're doing a U-turn. All of these things. And it's just making people upset. And it just makes you don't feel as good. Like even today, I'm walking around, I'm like, man, this sucks because it's just so gloomy outside. When it's summer, it could be a bad day. Don't care because the sun is still out. So to your point, it's awesome. And can I point something else out that like this just hit me? Have you ever thought about this? I don't know if you have because you're a writer, and so I'm sure you've read different types of books. But so the scenario that you laid out, you have like the summer, the summer lake house in the summer, or you have the winter snowy cabin, right? Both of those could be used in like a Nicholas Sparks book, right?
Mhm.
Where it's like these like very either romantic settings or very like peaceful settings, right? And it's like, oh, it could be a perfect situation. Those same situations can also be used in horror movies. It's like, oh no, there's a serial killer by the lake house and they're trying to chop up all of the college kids on spring break. And then on the other side, in the cabin, you have one person that is trying to get some peace and quiet just by themselves. And then, oh no, Bigfoot decides to terrorize their cabin. Have you ever thought about that? It can be used in both situations.
Yeah, that's just, yep, just flashed through my mind as you were saying that too.
See, that's all I'm saying. I don't know why these people in these movies think it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go like be secluded in the woods by
Yeah,
myself.
I'm gonna, right.
What?
Yep. That's how they always start off. It's like so fun. Everyone's like, yes, we're going to get away. We're going to go to this secluded spot where we have no cell reception. No big deal. We don't need our phones anyway. We can disconnect from the world. Yeah. And then it's, I can't watch those movies. I'm
I
just
know
like,
it makes.
oh, you're all going to die in the movie anyway. I don't want to watch this.
I know you just hear the scratching at the cabin, like, oh no, it's happening.
Can't do it. Nope.
Yeah, and they act surprised. Of course, it's going to happen out there. What do you
Yeah.
think? What do you think is going to happen? You know what I mean? So, anyways, that's just my thought. But that was a
Okay.
good one. I like it.
We both agreed on that one. Okay.
We agree on that one. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna go to which one do I want to do?
Wrote a bunch down, both of us.
We did. We've done two so far each.
No, I've asked you three.
This is my
So this
third.
is gonna be your third one.
Okay. So we'll wade into the a little bit deeper part of the pool. It's probably the deepest one I have. Okay.
Okay.
Are you going to be the first to apologize to someone, or would you wait for them to apologize to you first?
Ooh, depends.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
That is a scenario situation question. You know
So
what?
let's just assume, for the sake of the question, that there's wrong on both sides. Like both people have something to apologize about. There was things said from both sides. Because I think if we make it's like, of course, if you're in the right, of course, hey, I'm not apologizing. You apologize to me, and then vice versa. Let's assume that both sides said things that they regret.
You know what? If it's someone that I care about on any level, like I want them to stay in my life, I probably will apologize first, even if I don't fully, even if I'm like, ugh, I'm barely half the problem here, but okay. Like I probably will, to be honest, just because at the end of the day, I do like to keep the peace. I like to stand my ground, but sometimes I'm like, is this worth my relationship with this person in my life? Like, is it really in the grand scheme of things? Like, does this matter? And so, I probably hasn't happened. It doesn't happen every day or anything. I mean, people in my life are pretty chill, but like, I probably, if they haven't come to me yet, at some point, I probably would be the one just to kind of squash it and just
Sure.
to like, let's just get over this, you know? So yeah, if I had to pick one, I would probably just go ahead and say something first.
Yeah.
That's my that's my personality.
That's
No.
interesting because you've never apologized to me. And so that's very telling about how you feel about this friendship, co-friendship, whatever you want to call it. But that's fine. You know, I'm just saying.
Well, same. No, I let you talk about me on the show, so there we go. That we're even. I don't have to
No, and
apologize.
that's not at all. That's not at all even. I would do that.
We were getting along so well this entire
I would do
episode.
that regardless of whether or not you were mad at me or not. So that has nothing to do with it. That was just fun. All right.
You didn't get my long apology text? You must not have gotten it.
I would love to see it.
It's gone. I don't know where it is.
Well, you're a writer. You can write it up again. It's not that difficult.
It'll be Josh. I'll be on the next episode. There you go. It's my apology.
Well, that's a promise that you're probably going to break. That's not an apology. Now, if you say, "Hey, I'm going to be on the podcast," and you don't show up, then I would expect an apology letter. But that's fine. Anyways, it's not going to happen because I know how you feel about apologies now. Because we can run this back. If I really care about that person, and I would, the key part of that was I want them to still be in my life. I will apologize first. Now
It's
that's
like you're still in my life. None of us have had to apologize.
That's because I'm too dumb to understand the rules of your life. You know what I mean? I didn't realize that we're playing this game. So if she's not apologizing, so she's trying to get rid of me.
This was clearly an entrapment question, so I'm gonna let you go and answer your own question now.
It it wasn't, but then I thought this is pretty good because I feel like she's revealing something about herself. But that's okay. That's fine. We'll move on. So I forgive you, Deb.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I forgive you for being so mean to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me. Okay. Would you
Yeah.
so
I would like if like I said, if we're both in the wrong, I would apologize first. There's something inside of me that is just going to bother me if I don't, and that's not to say that you just take full responsibility. I mean, when I say apologize, you apologize. I apologize for the part of it that I played, and then blame them for everything that they did. But at least I can apologize for. No, I'm just kidding.
you're like, I
you
can
know,
take responsibility for what I did, I guess, but
here's a list of stuff that you did. Let me run through this real quick. No, I think there's something that does nag at me if I'm in the wrong about something. Like I've always felt it was necessary to apologize about that stuff. Like I'm trying to think of a situation. I've never had an issue apologizing for something that I've done wrong. I just felt like that. I feel like that's something for me that's really important to do for a lot of different reasons. Especially now with having kids. Like I feel like that's a good example to set too. Like I've never believed in this idea of allowing pride from preventing you to apologize. Like I don't like it. And if I'm in the wrong, I have to apologize. You know what I mean? Now I'm sure there's situations where I felt like I wasn't, or I didn't realize that I was in the wrong as much as I was, or I didn't feel like I was, and maybe that would prevent me. But most of the time I feel like I have a pretty good sense of when I'm in the wrong and I can just own up to it. You know what I mean? Just, I don't know. I don't know. I've always felt like not owning up to it and not just accepting the part that you played prolongs the situation and usually causes more problems down the road. You know what I mean? And usually, like I've always felt too, like if you have a situation like that, if you have someone that's willing to own up to what they've done and the wrong that they did, that usually gives some boldness to the other person as well. And I think the conversation usually goes much better because now it's only they're a little bit more willing to maybe admit to what they've done wrong as well. And I think it typically leads to a better conversation. Not always, but I feel like it can. You're increasing the chances of a good conversation coming from that if you do that. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that when at the end of the day, I think it's like if it's where like neither of us are talking and it's like time has passed, it's like one of us needs to just do it and like suck it up. And if it's not going to be them, then I guess it's going to be me. And when it's happened to where they've reached out, and again, this doesn't happen all that, but like they reached out before I did, I kind of wished that I would have stepped up and reached out. So I'm always like, okay, just do it because this needs to be just squashed. Just suck it up and do it. And then I always feel better. It's like at the end, it's like, okay, that was worth it. Like everything's cool. And it's nothing, but I always have to make the decision, like, if you're going to apologize, then don't bring it up again. Don't hold a grudge. Like you're choosing to do this. Don't throw it in their face later.
Sure.
That type of thing. Cause it's that won't work either. Because I've experienced that on the reverse side and I've seen it. And I'm always like, if you're gonna just leave it. I think it's best to just leave it back there then.
Yeah.
So maybe depending on the situation. So
Yeah, no, I agree with that as well. It's got to be genuine. Like that interaction has to be genuine. Because
yeah.
if it's not genuine, then so like just like I said, if you have a genuine apology and you're the first person to apologize in a situation like that, you're kind of getting the ball rolling in a positive direction. And hopefully that remedies the situation completely and heals that situation completely, where you're avoiding a lot of future problems. If you apologize in a cynical way and it's not genuine, then you are only setting yourself up and you're kicking the ball further down the field, right? Like this is going to become an issue later and it's going to get worse because that apology wasn't genuine. And like you said, if you bring it up later, then they'll look back at that initial apology and it's like, well, that was BS. You didn't mean that. And it's going to intensify the problem that you deal with in the future because now it's like, oh, now it's like you're not just dealing with that, but now you're dealing with like, oh, now you lied to me with that apology because you didn't mean that. It's a bad situation. So it's got to be genuine. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
There we go. All right.
This one's kind of simple because my last one is, well, I don't know. I guess they're both simple. Anyway, so
let's get out of the deep end of the pool. Back to the shallow.
Yeah. Let's go back to the shallow end, the kiddie pool really quick. Super Bowl or World Cup?
The Super Bowl 100%. I am not a soccer fan and I wish I could get into it. I've tried. I can't get into it. I appreciate the like the passion that different countries have for their teams during the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wild scene. I definitely appreciate that, but I could not care less about it. Like I hope the US wins. That's kind of the extent of it. I couldn't tell you, like I know the big name soccer players, the majority of people I don't know. The closest I come to liking soccer is Ted Lasso. That's pretty much it. And so, no, Super Bowl, I love football. So 100% football for me.
Yeah, I like the tradition of Super Bowl. I love like just getting together and eating food and just kind of like it's like another holiday, right?
You're not alone. A lot of people are in that boat.
Yeah. And just like the intensity of it, like because and I'm not saying I'm picking Super Bowl. I don't know yet. So hang on. But this last Super Bowl, I don't know. I don't even know my answer for this one. Let me just try to work through it right now. But
okay, I'm ready.
A few weeks when it was Super Bowl, like at this point a month ago or whatever.
Sure.
Christine came into town to SAC.
So shout out to Christine.
Yeah, so she came and it's funny, she got here because we had planned it. That was planned for a while because she never gets to come to SAC. Well, we just never get to see each other. She's busy, she has her family, our schedules. She lives, like an hour away. So
did she come back because you had something else of hers?
No, she has all of her Twilight books. She actually came just to hang out.
Okay, hey Christine, I hope you understood exactly what she said because Deb paused for a second. And she's like, no, she has her Twilight books. The fact that she said that so specifically, I think she has something else of yours. So check your closet, check everything around your house, make sure Deb hasn't stolen anything else because I feel like there was some wordplay there that was trying to be a little bit manipulative. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
I have books here. They're not hers, but I have someone else's.
Who do they belong to?
A friend that I haven't seen in years. She probably has no idea that I have them still. I haven't talked to her in years. I just need to mail them back to her probably. You're not going to do that. I should.
Oh no, you definitely should. You're not going to. Let's be honest.
How am I then? What are they going to be held on? I need to buy my own books. I do have books actually. I have lots of books that I could prop them up on. But this is just the perfect like size. It's almost like an athlete has a routine at this point. So I gotta use the same.
Yeah, sure. If the athlete was stealing their teammates' equipment all the time.
Exactly.
It's like I have five baseball gloves here. None of them are mine, but I use them. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your decision making here between the Super Bowl and the World Cup.
I know. I don't even know my own answer. But so when Christine was here, she got here and she literally was like, it's Super Bowl today, right? And I'm like, I know. I don't know. I didn't realize it either. Whatever. I don't care. Do you care? She's like, no. I'm like, okay, great. So, all my other friends have their plans. So she and I hitchhiked it out to Midtown. It was completely dead because, well, and it could have, I didn't know. I had never been out on Super Bowl before. I'm usually at someone's house. So I'm like, it's either going to be busy out there or dead. And it was dead until towards the end of the night, we got towards a sports bar. And of course it's packed in there. So we went next door to the restaurant next door, which is, it's a street in Sac that's usually pretty busy anyway. And so we went to the restaurant next to it, which was super dead, but the TV was still on. So
Okay.
when we watched, I think the last like quarter of the game. So when a play happened, we could hear everyone in the sports bar just screaming. So it
Sure.
was kind of without experiencing it anyway. So, I mean, I didn't even watch the halftime show this year. I was just like, whatever. But usually I do like the gathering of it and the food and stuff. But Christine and I just bar hopped and tried beers and had some snacks.
There you go.
And then the
Sounds
World
fun.
Cup, I know, right? And then the World Cup, obviously, as you know, I've gotten into soccer the past couple of years, and I play indoor soccer. I have much more respect for the professional soccer leagues now, and I've been to the Sac Republic games here, and so that's been fun. I got up really early one morning with one of my friends months ago at her house. I stayed the night there to watch the Women's World Cup. And but that was fun. So I think I like the tradition of the Super Bowl, but I like watching the World Cup.
Okay.
I don't know if I actually want to watch football. I think I watch it and I'm just like, and I just would rather go back to my snacks with soccer. I'll watch and I'll see what's happening and I'll be fascinated with that. So that's where I'm at.
Interesting. All right. There you go. I think I've told you this before. And I feel like this, what you just said kind of falls into this. It's interesting. I feel like PE teacher, like high school PE teachers kind of fall into a couple different categories. I feel like at least the ones that I've had throughout my life and some of the ones I've known, they either love sports and like love playing sports and like obviously they're trying to stay like in shape and stay healthy and stuff like that, but like they're not um like it's not like they're focused on like strength training and all of that, right? Like they just love the sports aspect of it. And then you have other teachers like yourself maybe who love like the physical part of it, right? The conditioning part of it, the strength training, all of those different elements of it. But you're like, who's in the Super Bowl this year? I have no idea. What is going on? Like the sports part of it, like you couldn't care less about, right? And then you have some PE teachers that are like the transformers of PE teaching. They're like, I love competing and I love every sport and I love the human body so much. You know what I mean? There's like a couple that I've had that were like that. It's like, oh, you're a different breed. They're
Sure.
usually like a coach's husband or wife too.
Yeah, yeah. I I love everything about sports and working out and competing except for watching them, like the professional
Right.
teams, stats. We've gone over this. I'm like, I
Hmm.
could care less. I don't know who's your team. I don't know who's your team. I'll pick the opposite of what you want. I don't know. Like I just I don't care. So, but so I'll watch it obviously, and I know what's going on and I know what's happening for the most part. I'd much rather play the
Sure.
sport
Sure.
recreationally. I'd much rather just kind of like work out. So, but
And
anytime
that's what I meant. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
anytime anyone's talking about teams or stats, I'm like, oh, and they're talking, they throw out a player's name. I'm like, who's that? They're like, oh my God, you don't know who that is. And I'm like, I could care less. I don't follow anyone. I don't keep up with anything anymore. I don't know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll hop on a bandwagon when Super Bowl hits and I'll just be like, and I'll keep up from like the final four teams to the top. Obviously, whoever makes it to Super Bowl, I'll keep up with that because everyone's talking about it. I can't get away from it. But other than that, I have no idea. And then you put me
Yeah.
on your fantasy team, and then
You won
and
one year and then you lost the next. And you know, we don't need to go into that again.
we'll get into that.
Yeah, we won't get into that. It's a very ugly road. So,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay. Well, there you go.
there we go.
It's your
What was
turn.
the original question there? Oh, Super Bowl or World Cup? I kind of forgot.
Yeah. You pick Super Bowl. I don't know. I guess I pick World Cup. I don't, in terms of watching it, I guess I'd rather watch at this point in my life right now. It's soccer because it's more new. And I don't know. Football, I would just rather eat the snacks and drink the beer. I do like watching. I went to my first NFL game in the fall.
Oh,
So that
cool.
was fun. I
Awesome.
watched the Niners play. So that was cool. So
Who'd they play?
I did that. Oh God, give me who
That's
is
okay.
it
I didn't really want to know. I was hoping for this reaction right here. So that's perfect.
the Rams, I think. I think it was the Rams. They
Uh,
won.
There you go.
Okay, there you
All
go.
right. Cool. You did not disappoint with that. Thank you. Okay. So would you uh, rather be the podcast interviewer or the interviewee?
Um, that's a good one. Well, I mean, we are the interviewers basically every time, but like it's more like we do a conversation style. So
Yeah, but I mean, like we're
I,
still the ones that are like driving. Like we have questions for them,
right,
and
right.
you and I have been on a couple of podcasts.
Been on, yeah,
You've been on a few more than I have with like the Self Love Breakfast Club or Self Love for Breakfast.
yeah. I
Um,
Yeah, that's yes. Well, and like, and if I'm on them or whatever, a guest or whatever, like we're talking about topics and not so much about me. So I don't know. I think I'm more comfortable being the interviewer, but I don't mind being the interviewee. Like, obviously, we like talking. So I'm
mhm.
almost an open book, minus the fact that I'm a public school teacher. So I got to be careful. But I'm much
Yeah,
more.
a couple of chapters are off limits.
Yeah, but I'm more comfortable being the interviewer, I think, because of the role we play when we are, talking with guests.
Yeah, I think I'm probably with you. I enjoy being the interviewer. Um, Partially because the way, like to your point, the way we do it, I don't feel like it feels like an interview. I
Yeah.
think it feels like a conversation. Now, you and I have done this for quite a few years now. Not so much on this podcast, but there's been other podcasts that we've done where we had to like without even like talking. I think we just both acknowledged that it's okay. This needs to turn into an actual like interview because the person wasn't quite comfortable with just this kind
Yeah.
of the conversation back and forth. So we can switch into that if we
Mhm.
need to. I just don't think it's our preferred, or I don't think it's the best version of what we do. I think
Yeah.
just having the conversation is. So I would probably prefer that, but I do enjoy being on people's podcasts. Like it is fun switching seats every once in a while. And I feel like, and I don't know, I guess the people that we've been on their podcast would have to let us know if this is true, but I feel like we've done a pretty solid job of being the interviewees on different podcasts. Um, I feel like we bring a different energy for sure. And I'm sure sometimes they're like, I don't know why we had these two on because there's been
We're
a
both
couple of times where I'm like, this person was probably, they probably were not expecting, or like they probably weren't prepared for how much you and I would just jump into it. Because I
exactly.
feel like, I don't know how you feel about this. I don't think we've ever talked about this. Have you ever felt uncomfortable going on someone's podcast? Like when you and I go on different podcasts?
Have I ever felt uncomfortable?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
See,
Have
I
you?
haven't either. I
Yeah.
almost feel like we're too comfortable. It's like
We we just start
we're putting our shoes on the table, like, hey, what's up, everybody? And it's like they're like, I was not expecting this. Usually, they ask us, we ask a question, they answer, and then it's kind of that back and forth. We're just like, hey.
keep going.
Felt like that a couple of times. I was like, oh, they probably don't want us back.
Like, we're just gonna keep talking on our own then.
There we go. Luckily, we have our own podcast. But
Exactly.
no, so I enjoy doing both. It is fun mixing it up every once in a while and being on someone's podcast. But I think, yeah, I do think being an interviewer is fun
Yeah.
because you do have some control over which direction it goes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like I don't know how you feel, but like when the interview is a little bit more, or the conversation is a little bit tougher,
Mhm.
it for me it's like a puzzle. It's like I can't rely on, like I can't just sit back and hope they ask me a good question as the interviewee. As the interviewer, it's like you got to keep the thing going. And
Yeah.
so if you have someone that's a little bit more quiet, more reserved, not giving long answers, it's like, okay, this is like a puzzle we have to figure out. Like, how do we keep this thing going and make sure it's still a fun experience for them and for the listener? Like that falls on you. And I like that challenge. Man, that's like the competitiveness in me. I enjoy that side of it too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, same. Yeah, and I don't know, I'm stealing this phrase from Nicole, but I could talk to a brick wall. So I think that skill comes in handy. And when I was doing distance, and obviously you know how to have conversations and you know how to keep them going, but obviously, I think I
Well, thank
polished.
you. I might cry. Is that the nicest thing you've ever said about me? Probably. Oh,
Got to give you like one good compliment like every other episode, I think at this point.
okay.
Move on.
Okay. Hold on. Every other episode,
I don't know.
I
I don't think I said anything nice to you last episode, but I feel like the episode before that I said something nice to you.
hmm, try it. You say something nice maybe once a year. Oh my gosh.
Once a
Every other
year.
episode. Who do you think
Yeah.
you are? What kind of podcast?
I think
That's like
I'm
me
complimenting
saying, "Hey, I haven't
you.
made fun of you for about 3 episodes in a row." Not
I
true. Not even close to the truth. Deb, let's just accept who we are. That every other episode you say something nice about me.
pretty sure I complimented you 2 episodes ago. So this is the
What'd you
regular.
say?
Well, I don't remember, but I
But,
just I remember you saying, "Oh, thanks. That was nice." So I'm
well, I
just
didn't appreciate that impression of me. But why'd you? You're like, oh, thanks. You didn't quite do that face, but you were kind of on the way to doing it. The way you turned your head.
my impersonation every time I talk to someone about you.
Yeah, it's like, hey, can you podcast on Tuesday? Is that the impression you do of me?
Yes.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for being honest. I respect that. You at least were honest. You didn't try to make something up like you normally do. You're like 100%. You make me seem like like the dude from Goonies, like, hey, Deb.
Yes. Exactly. Laughing so hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that guy's name? I forgot.
I don't know, but I know who you're talking.
Yeah, you know who you
I didn't really get into the Goonies, but I know what you're talking about.
that guy.
Huh? Yeah, the guy with
Hey,
the
Deb, you want a podcast this week?
Josh has been practicing that too much. What was I
That's
saying?
how I walk around my house. My poor wife, like, hey, Rachel, how you doing?
She's like, all right. What was I don't even know what I was saying. What question did you ask me? It's my bedtime now. I got off topic. Okay.
I know. I was trying to get this one a short one. Last time we did a pot last week, we were under an hour.
We were?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
What did you
interviewer versus interviewee.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was talking about how I polished up on my talking skills during distance learning because I basically was talking to nothing because they're all muted and I'm talking to the screen myself, whatever, for hours a day. Right. Anyway, I think that's what I was trying to get at. And then
I interrupted.
Started making fun of you. So
yeah, and then I made fun of you, and then I made fun of myself. So we're good. And speaking of, you mentioned Nicole. We haven't heard from Nicole for a while. I'm sure you have, but I haven't seen. She hasn't commented on anything. Is she still listening to our podcast, or did she finally quit?
I don't know, but she's busy. She's
Well, I have no doubt. She's a business owner.
Well, yeah. Okay, so she's her own business owner, right? Like she has her cleaning company, but she's also managing, or kind of co-managing Log Off now.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So she got hired.
Good for you, Nicole. Well done.
We'll have to bug her and have her back on so she can.
Yeah, bring her back.
Yeah. That way she can be back in the tournament for
100%. Yeah. Which I'm not sure she likes or not, but you always do well. So, Yeah,
we'll have to bring her back on. Okay.
Cool. Okay.
Okay. So I have one more.
I got one more too.
This is going to really separate the introvert or the extrovert in you and anyone else who wants to answer this question for themselves. But okay. So I gotta throw a scenario in just to give you like a visual, I guess. So you have 2 weeks off. Okay. Your choices are, so here's where your this or that comes in. You got to pick one. You stay at home for those 2 weeks and relax for the entire 2 weeks. You don't go anywhere. I'm not saying you don't step outside like you're holed up, but you're just at home. That's your vacation time. Or do you go out and leave the country? The country, not just like you go on a day trip to the lake, but so you're at home for 2 weeks and relaxing, or you're in a different country for 2 weeks.
Yeah. That was a very boring answer, but I would stay at home. I've said this before, and I know like some people don't like this answer. I'll be honest, I don't care because it doesn't matter to you. It shouldn't. But for some people, it does bother them for some reason. And I think I've told you this before. You're not one of these people. But I don't really have any desire to like travel the world. I know that sounds weird to people, and anytime I say that, they're like, "Well, what about this place?" I'm like, "Hey, you can spin the globe and point to any place you want. My answer's not going to change."
No, you're like, I don't want to do it.
It's like, and it's not like, because I think I told you when we were kind of talking about your Europe trip. It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm fearful to go anywhere. It's not like, oh, it's nothing like that. It's like, oh, I don't like traveling. It's nothing like that. I literally don't have any. There's nothing inside of me. Maybe one day I'll do it. I'm not saying I'll never do it. I'm just saying my natural thing is not like. I'll say this. I'm not going to feel like I'm missing out if I never go to a different country. And some people are like, well, you say that now. No, I say that now because I mean it. Like I really mean that. Like I haven't felt that way for my 34 years of life. Like I've just never been like, oh, I like I would love to go here and there. So, and again, because of like how my schedule is right now, and obviously with kids and stuff like that,
Yeah.
sometimes that quiet and
Yeah.
just doing nothing at your normal spot sounds really good to me. If I can go work out, run, come back, just chill at the house, I'd be okay with that. So I know it's probably not the popular answer.
Mhm.
But that's my answer. And it's just
Yeah.
like I said, again, at some point, maybe I will go somewhere. Again, it's like, that's why I was trying to explain to people. It's not me saying I'll never want to, or I don't think it's interesting. It's just not something that's at the forefront of my mind. It's just not something I'm like, oh yeah, I have a bucket list of places I want to go. It's just not high on my priority list.
Yeah.
But it's cool when people do. I love hearing stories of when people do it. Like it was a lot of fun when you came back and shared your stories about Europe. And I have a cousin, she's traveling all over the place and she loves it. I always think it's cool. I think it's awesome when people do. It's just, for me, it's just not at the forefront of my mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that because everyone's different, and it's the same concept. Like you said, you're like, it's just not, I just don't want to. It's just never been, and like you said, my 34 years like, and it's okay. It's funny. It's the same concept for me with like wanting kids. Like it's not the popular opinion or the popular thing to say, and whatever. And some people like can't wait to be parent, and I think that's great. Everyone's different, so it's not. So if you want to stay home, rock your socks off and stay home. Go
Yeah,
for it. Yeah. I
100%.
I feel like definitely before Europe, especially, like I feel like I was like kind of in the middle with that answer. For me, it would be more so I want to travel, but I just can't afford it, or
Sure.
whatever are my priorities. But in this scenario, I gave myself a like, nope, you can pick whatever you want. At this point in my life, I would go out of the country
Sure.
just with like I don't know, kind of like you, I don't know if I ever had the desire to, like, it was never been on my bucket list. I think my bucket list has been like Ireland though, or like Scotland, just because my ancestry, right? I feel like
Why do you
go
say that?
need to go see my fellow redheads. I know,
Yeah,
right?
sure. I would
Shocker.
have never guessed.
Yeah, right. Shocker. But I never thought I could like go to Europe, and that happened and it worked out and it was amazing. And so, and it's not like I have this travel bug all of a sudden, like, oh, I need to go to this country. It's not like, but I think at this point, and it's just again with my life and my lifestyle and my personality right now, like I definitely would go out of the country for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think at one point in time though, I would have said stay at home for 2 weeks. I think everyone's just kind of like in an ebb and flow of where they are in life. But
Yeah.
there is no right or wrong answer, but definitely I would go out of the country.
Yeah. It depends on who you ask. Then there's a right or wrong answer. No, I'm just kidding.
Some people will think you're psycho for staying at home for 2 weeks, and some people are going to think that I'm psycho for wanting for picking the answer.
Right. And my response to that is like, we didn't ask for your opinion. So
Do what you want. You live your truth. We'll live ours. Okay.
yeah. So shut up. But that being said, please download the podcast and don't give us a 1-star review. So
We just gained a bunch of followers for sure.
Yeah, what are all five of our followers?
For sure. Yes.
We need some more comments, ratings, reviews. If you guys could do that for us, that'd mean a lot. We need to
Great.
talk. We need to talk about that, Deb, because we've been stuck at the same number for a long time. Anyways, it's a different conversation for a different time. Okay, I got one more. This one's dumb, but I feel like it's a strong one to end on. Do you wash dishes immediately, or do you wait until the sink is full?
Oh, immediately.
Drop the
Well,
mic right now. Close
I
it. End the
thought,
podcast. That's all we need to say. There's
you
only
know,
one right answer to this. Why in the world do you want to look at a pile of dishes in the sink and wait until it's full? What?
oh,
Why would you do
okay, hang
that?
on. Especially again, I give all my information
Get them,
out
Deb.
here. So no, no, I'm just saying I'm gonna say especially because I live alone. Like, can you imagine if I waited by myself to wait for that's like a week. I mean, granted, I do eat a lot of food, but like there's no way. Yeah, there's dishes right now. That's because I literally just scarfed down food before we hit record. I just kind of threw them in the sink. But like
That's different though.
I will never, yeah, I can't even go to bed with anything in my sink. It's very rare. It has to be like I'm done. I don't care. There's a bowl in there, whatever. I'll get to it tomorrow. But like it's very rare that I even go to bed with any dishes in my sink.
I'm gonna give
So,
you a high five right now because I'm with you. That drives me nuts. And there's something inside of me that if like like sometimes here's what I'll do. Like sometimes I'll work out at night and then I'll have a protein shake after I work out, and then I'll put water in the shaker so that kind of softens everything up, and I'll leave it there. Now, if I'm getting ready to go to bed and I see that shaker in there, guess what's not going to happen? I'm not going to leave it in the sink. I might think about it because I'm really tired, but my inside is like, Josh, myself will call me Joshua. Joshua, get back to the sink and put that in the dishwasher because this is stupid. Because in the morning it's going to make you upset that you did that. I don't
yeah.
like it. And the way that question was posed, they're treating the dishes like they're treating laundry. Like, okay, I only have a few pieces of clothes in the laundry basket. Okay, it's not time to do laundry yet because it'd be a waste to do it on just that amount.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
wait until more clothes are in the laundry basket.
Yeah.
That's fine. That makes sense. You don't do that with dishes. What are we doing?
Well, and like,
What is this, a restaurant? No, it's not a
no,
restaurant. It's someone's house. Just do the dishes. Do the
well,
dishes.
and then like your kitchen starts to smell. Like if you leave food or dirty food out like that, like that's, it create, ugh, like I can't. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And
Nope,
again, you're
can't do
better
it.
about this than I am. You're like, I hope this doesn't offend anybody. I don't care if this offends you. If you're doing this, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? You gotta, I
The
mean, even if
traditional
you're like, I
way.
don't want to do the dishes, put it on the floor for your dog. Let do something, figure it
Oh,
out because it's crazy if you have, like you said, and it smells, it's avoidable. It's just a matter of like, you just have to do it. Like it's one of those things that you just have to do. You may not want to do it, but you've
yeah.
got to do it. So just do
Well,
it.
and the way I start and end my day makes a huge difference. Whatever happens in the middle happens in the middle. Like there's going to be good days and bad days. But for me in my life, I figured I can control how I start it and how I end it. And fortunately I live alone, so I can like control how I want it to look, feel, smell, all those things.
Sure.
But I need to like end the day with, it's things like neat and tidy and clean. It just makes me feel so much better.
It's way
Um,
better.
I don't, and then in the same, and ending the day, I don't know if did I say end the day or start the day? Start the day, end the day, both. So when I wake up in the morning, because dishes are already put away from the night before, or things are already put away from the night before, it gets me off to a good start. Because I've had many days where I literally had to pick and be like, I'm not doing that. I'm too tired. So in the moment, it was a good choice for me at night because I was like exhausted. But in the morning, I was like, I wish I would have put that away because
100%.
now I'm a little irritated because that it just kind of throws my balance off. Now I can choose to ignore it. Some mornings I can. And I don't even I'm not like a clean freak. I'm not even cleaning every day. I just again, it's just me. So maybe it's easier, I guess. Uh, and I don't know how you guys do it. People with kids, I have no idea, no clue, because my nephew has torn in here before for a spend the night and left, and I freaking had to clean my entire apartment. It was crazy. So I did.
It's every night.
It's crazy. So if you have kids, just like, I don't know how you do it. If your house is clean, don't get it. Just, I mean, so like I'm I'm an exception. Like it's just me, right? But I just, as I go through my apartment, I'm just putting stuff away as I go. So like it's easy to keep things clean for me is what I'm saying. So I think I have an advantage. I don't know if when you have multiple people in the house or kids and stuff, I probably would have, can imagine having a harder time with that. I don't know. It's everyone's different with how they take care of their household and what they want to do. I don't know.
Yeah, everybody's different, and I might be a psychopath. That might be part of the problem too. Um, because like if we're talking about the dish, it's like yeah, with kids, there's certain areas of the house that I mean, you've been to our house before. There's toys everywhere, and like you pick up the toys at the end of the day, have the kids help you pick up the toys, and the next day you just know it's like this is going to be a mess tomorrow. We got to do this whole thing again. But like,
Yeah.
and we have like we don't have like the biggest house in the world. So like, there's only so much space where that stuff can go. I get that, but if we're talking about the dishes specifically,
Yeah.
even if you have we have 4 people in our house, there's more dishes, more stuff. I still it still drives me nuts. Like I gotta do it. And like you said, every once in a while, well, you'll leave one of the kids' dishes in the sink, like clean it, but put it in the sink. And then every time I'm like, like you said, like oh, in the morning, I'm like, that was dumb. Why did I do that? I wish I wouldn't have done that. So, and to your point though, with living by yourself, that's like you said it's easy to just clean up after yourself, one person.
Mhm.
But I guarantee there's people out there that also have the mentality of like, well, it's just me. Does it really matter if my sink's full? Because it's just me. Like, and I'm sure it's like the Wild West for that very reason. Because it's like, yeah, who cares? Leave a dish in there. Oh, Tuesday night, leave a dish in there. Wednesday night, leave a dish in there. And then now it's stacked to the ceiling. And it's like, this is one person's mess. What are we doing?
So I don't know if you ever watched the Jeffrey Dahmer like Netflix thing.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so I only watched the first episode, or not even the full first. Maybe I think I finished the first episode. Anyway, I couldn't get past the first episode.
Sure.
Not just because of like the gruesome depictions of like the whatever the murders, but like his apartment. I had such anxiety just watching how filthy and disgusting his apartment was.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, I'm not talking about like if it was like the quality or their neighborhood. I'm talking about just how it was inside with it was a mess. It was so gross.
Mm-hmm.
I was like that was that bothered me more.
Just disgusting. Like, this is disgusting.
So gross, right?
I
Exactly.
get it.
I mean, the dead bodies didn't help either, but like it was just so gross, and that gave me such anxiety. So I'm a freak, and I need things like clean. It just makes me feel better, and so I'll do it however I need to do it. Luckily, I'm almost never home, so if it's clean, it's just gonna stay clean, except for get
Oh,
dusty. I just need to wipe down the counters and dust and clean my floors every once in a while, but otherwise it stays. And I unfortunately, and I miss having a dog. I really do. I'm
sure.
just home to have one. So there's that too. I haven't had a dog, and I put Molly down a few years ago, so I don't have any dog hair around here to like. So it just makes it to where I'm like, I really don't have to clean. I probably should mop every once in a while still because I'm still walking around, but like it's like, yeah, it's really easy for me right now to keep my apartment clean. So
There we go.
there you go. But yeah, dishes, no, the dishes got to be put away immediately.
Put the dishes away. Clean the dishes. Don't stack them up. Don't let it stack up to the ceiling. This is
That's
silly.
silly. Well, that was a good one to end on.
That was a good one. Hey, good idea for this episode, Deb.
Thanks. I have
Yeah.
good ideas once in a while.
So, and as always, if you guys have any this or that questions, let us know when we post this on social media. Put it in the comments, and then I would love to see this or that you guys have.
Yeah. If you guys want us to talk about something, we're always down. We're always open to talk about different things for our solo episodes.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I put that in our stories today. I don't think anybody even responded, which is fine. It's what I'm used to. We don't have, what the heck, you guys?
We'll have to put it out on a regular basis.
We will do that. Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't think we got anything. Let me take a look since I'm here. Nothing. Okay. So
The only thing we're gonna get is Jordan requesting that I do another guy bashing episode. So
he did enjoy that. He did enjoy the guy bashing.
have the guy bashing to do right now, but
You do?
I don't.
Oh,
But it's only February. No, it's March. It's only March, so we'll see.
the year is young. So
And if it's not someone that I personally know, it'll be like a friend that had a run-in with a guy that we could do that too. If I need to bash on a guy that way, because I'm protective of my friends. So there we go.
there you go. All right, perfect. A lot of opportunities here. This is good.
Options, yeah. Okay.
Debbie, where can they follow us on social media?
Debbie. You guys can follow us on all platforms except for Twitter is at Connectable Podcast. I guess that was my lazy way of saying Instagram at Connectable Podcast.
Yeah, I feel like that was incredibly confusing. I'm not even sure what you meant by that. Okay.
Facebook.
Run it from the back.
Podcast. TikTok Connectable Podcast. This is horrible. YouTube Connectable Podcast. And then Twitter Connectable Pod. That was what I was going for. Everything is Connectable Podcast except for Twitter is Connectable Pod. That's how you guys can find us.
Yes, I wish you would have started. That was incredibly clean. The first part was different.
That was the first. I just instantly made that decision, split second. So it just took me a second.
I wish you wouldn't have made that decision. I feel like
I've said that to myself many times throughout my life.
Fair enough.
No, it's not just you.
All right, perfect. Good. All right. On that note,
we're out.
Yeah, that's it. And like I said, you guys can subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast app to make sure you get the new episode every single week. And if you would be so kind to give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts specifically, but then also Spotify, we would definitely appreciate it, and spread the word. If someone's looking for a new podcast, you don't suggest Joe Rogan because he's got too many followers right now anyways. Suggest little old Connectable Podcast. We appreciate it.
That's great.
Which, like little because we don't have that many followers, and old because you and I are getting up there in age.
And we've been doing this for a while.
We're getting old. So I don't feel like it. Do you feel like your age?
We are getting old school, as the teenagers say when they listen to music that we grew up with. Not even grew up with when we were in high school. They're like, oh, yeah, it's old school. And I'm just like, okay, let me just go and bury myself now because how is this old school? But
yeah, that's not good.
But it's a compliment because they like the music that when we were in high school was apparently great because they like it.
That makes me question. I know some of the music in high school was not that great, especially as a hip hop fan. Some of that stuff I'm like, that was trash then, it's trash now, and some of the stuff now that you guys listen to is still trash. So just my opinion, but good. I'm glad they like it.
They wish they were living in our era. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. Early 2000s.
That does make us sound old. Our era. Yeah, that's tough.
This is what we've become. It's fine.
Yeah. So that being said, please help us out. What she just said was depressing enough. So don't make it more depressing by letting us have only a couple of ratings or reviews. So
we embrace it. We love it. It's okay. We're we're mid-30s. It's fine.
I don't feel like it, to be honest with you. So I'm going to run with it. So, all right, let's get out of here. Deb, we'll talk to you next week, everybody. Right. See y'all.
Peace.
Thanks for watching the show. If you enjoyed that episode, make sure you like it, share it, and hit the subscribe button to get a new episode every week. We'll see you next time on the Connectable Podcast.